Hi fam, I hope we're all fine and you're listening or watching my videos. I'm I think that it would be for some time. I would be doing some of these videos for some time, but that would be separate from insurance. But I'll still I still sell insurance by the way. But this is also like a record keeping for me when I get some of these revelations and when I do my research and all of that. It's a good place to keep some of these records because why not? Today I want to talk about why Adam kept quiet in the garden. Yeah, we're still in the garden. Why Adam kept quiet and watched Eve to be swayed by the enemy, to cause her fall and, the whole fall of all of us. Why would he just stand there and watch? Because the Bible records that he was there, but he didn't say anything. I don't know about the proximity. I don't know if he was in the garden but he was on the other side of the garden, or we would never know. But whatever it was, Eve came to him but still did not exert his authority. He did not execute his mandate. What God had mandated him to do, he did not do it because he was given the instructions firsthand and only passed it on to Eve. But Eve was the one that was swayed. But Adam didn't say anything. He just ate it. Now, as I was meditating on this and reading about it, one of the things I found out was that Adam was in love. Whether we want to accept it or not, Adam was in love. Okay. When he saw Eve, the guy was moved. The guy was gone. When he saw Eve, he was moved by her. You remember that he said, this is the bone of my bone and the flesh of my flesh, in whom he was well pleased, or in whom he's well pleased, or something like that. He was a goner. This man was so in love with the woman that he did not want to say no to her. I know that there are so many dimensions of God's love that we are still learning. Humans are skewed in their minds, in their beliefs about love. Love is not always yes, sir, yes, ma'am, or okay, I'll do it. Even though you know you cannot do it, you still say yes to the person because you don't want to disappoint them. There are so many dimensions to love. But Adam had fallen in love with a woman God created. Imagine God bringing you someone who fills every hole in your heart. Like, you cannot blame him. You understand? It was God that gave her to him. And in his eyes, she was perfect. He couldn't find any fault with Eve. And he did not want to disappoint her, obviously. He did not want to turn her down. That imagine Eve came to him and said, I want you to eat this because the serpent said when we eat it, and trying to convince the man who is in love. Do you think you'll be able to turn her down? It would be very difficult. Even in recent times, when a man falls in love with a woman, it is a dangerous thing. I was listening to one preacher some time back, and she was talking about, or she was rather asking, if a woman is sure, or if a woman is capable of containing a man's love. The love that we so crave for. You want your husband to love you. You want your boyfriend to love you. Woman, are you ready for a man's love? Are you really ready for a man's love? Because when that man falls in love with you, he's going to give you his all. He's going to surrender to you. That is a man who is madly in love with you. And that is why you have to help him, to be his ear on the ground, to be his eyes when he can't see when he's around you. You know, when he cannot hear when he's around you. When nothing makes sense to him, you have to be there for him. You have to be able to bring him back to his senses. You guide him gently back to his senses. Because a man who is in love with you can easily fall. And by falling, I mean that they can easily fall in a ditch. When you tell him to do anything stupid, he will do it because he would not want to disappoint you. So of course, he would listen. But if you, such a woman, you're not ready to harness a man's love, to be able to contain a man's love, to nurture a man's love, don't fight for what you cannot keep. It is too powerful. A man's love is too powerful and frightening at the same time. Because a man who is madly in love with you, they can kill you actually. That is why some men kill the women when they turn them down. Or some even go the extreme of being obsessive. Because a man's love is dangerous. So back to the Adam and Eve story. This is one of the reasons he could not speak. Because he was in love with the woman. And he did not want to disappoint her. So of course, when she came in talking about how the serpent said this and that and this and that, he fell for it. He just kept quiet. He would do anything for Eve. So he took it and also ate it. But maybe Eve could have helped the man to realize that, look, even though the serpent said this, God has already given you instructions. This would be the sign of a good woman. That you know what the call is. You know the calling on the man's life. And you help him, shepherd him to reach that goal. Or to meet that call. An unwise woman would rather want to do things in her own way. Want to win at all costs. It's not a competition, but they would want to win at all costs and steer the man's heart towards only her and her needs. I think that if we're praying as women, we're praying for a man to love us, or we're praying for our husbands to love us, our partners to love us, please also pray for wisdom in how to steer such a love. Because when they surrender completely to you, it will be difficult for them to take decisions without you. It will be difficult for them to not listen to you, because they would listen to you. And whatever message you're giving to them, if it's not the right message, it will lead them into troubles. We have seen so many. One person on the top of my mind now is even a sound, Papa T or something like Taxi. When you listen to the interview he had with Delay, it was really sad. To fall in love with a woman who is not meant to be with you, who only cares about her needs and not care about your future with her. Anyway, I'll leave this here and come back later in my next video or my next audio. I'll see you guys. Bye.